Joining us now is Jerome J. Crowley and Rosaleen G. Crowley Professor of Theology, Gabriel Reynolds. Professor Reynolds, welcome to Notre Dame Day. Thanks for taking a few minutes with us.
Good to be with you.
For the second consecutive year, the University of Notre Dame has been ranked #1 in the world in theology, divinity, and religious studies. Let me say that again, #1 in the world. So I ask you, what makes Notre Dame theology so special?
Just checking in to make sure you can hear me okay.
Yes, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Terrific.
All right.
Terrific. Okay. Yes, no, I heard the question.
Okay.
Great. And of course, people say rankings aren't important, but in at least two things they are, in football and theology. So, it's wonderful news for the theology department, but those of us who know the department have long understood that a commitment to its to academic excellence and to theology, bringing those two together, which is really distinctive of Notre Dame. I think that marks a lot of departments, this commitment to the mission of the university, but also to academic excellence. It's important to see that in our department, we have cutting-edge scholars, leading scholars, but all motivated and animated by the craft of theology, which is about faith-seeking understanding. So religion is taken seriously, the study of God and God's relationship to humanity is taken seriously, and I think that's important to a lot of people.
Now, Professor, I know your specialty is in world religions, and I want to know, why do you think that topic is especially relevant, particularly at a Catholic university like Notre Dame?
Right, so that might be interesting and intriguing to a lot of people to see that our department isn't only about Catholic theology. Of course, we do great with Catholic theology, and that's the heart of the department. But we also engage with world religions. My studies are on Islam in particular, in the relationship between the church and Islam. And this is a way in which the university and the theology department in particular is committed to dialogue between different faith traditions, between different believers. With the question of Islam, some people may not know that Jesus is important to Islam, Moses, Adam, Abraham, and Mary. So they're two religions that are closely related. And in fact, the relationship between the two is key to the future of the world. Over half of the world's population is either Muslim or Christian, and we're seeking ways to advance dialogue and friendship between the two communities.
It's all very good, important things. I also know you're running a series through ThinkND called The Global Church. Curious, what kind of topics do you cover, and what are you working to communicate with listeners of that program?
Exactly. We've been partnering with ThinkND, and we have a 4-part series that our specific program within theology, which is called World Religions, World Church, is advancing. Earlier this year, I led a mini course on the church and Islam, inviting the Notre Dame community, friends, alumni, everyone committed to this university to think about that relationship. Currently, Father Paul Coleman, who's a CSC priest, is leading a program, a mini course on the church in Africa, in the different religious traditions there. And we have 2 sessions coming up, one on Hinduism, the church in Hinduism, and one on the church in Buddhism. And we're also engaging with Judaism in this program, I think, ND. But really, it's a way for World Religions, World Church to expand beyond our student population, which, by the way, is amazing. But our larger Notre Dame community out there is amazing. And we want Notre Dame to be a place of really community learning, in which we're reaching out beyond the campus here at South Bend and engaging with the international community of friends and alumni of Notre Dame.
And before I let you go, I know that you also host a podcast that's called Minding Scripture. I wonder if you can tell us what that is about.
Thank you. Yes, mindingscripture.com is a podcast that some colleagues in World Religions, World Church, and Theology, and I, including Sri Novik, Munim Suri, and Francesca Murphy, are engaging in. And it's a place where we take Scripture seriously. So we take major topics that come up in the Bible, in the Quran, for example, war and peace, angels and cosmology, sex and sexual morality, and think together in a reasonable way, together with the Scripture and with the living faith of believers, to ask how faith can inform our ideas about these topics, and to think how it can communicate to friendship between Jews, Christians, and Muslims.
All right. Well, Professor, I want to thank you for taking a few minutes out of your day today to join us here on Notre Dame Day.
Thank you so much. Go Irish.